Hey YouTube, it's Luke here. Today I want to do a new review on a cool product I have, something I've been playing around with for a little while now, and just want to share my thoughts with you on it. So this is the Numark Mixtrack Platinum. It's part of a line of the Mixtrack series, and it's a smaller, lighter controller, easy to take around, but still very functional. Has a lot of great options on it, which I'm going to show you here in a second. So, what makes the Platinum Edition special is the fact that it has displays in the jog wheels or in the platters here in the center. Okay, some things people always ask about, right away. How is the response of the jog wheels or the platters? How do they feel? Do they respond well? And these feel great. I mean, the minute you touch them, it stops. There's no latency whatsoever. I think they feel awesome. The resistance of the wheel is really good. I think it's very easy to scratch, although they are a little small. I'm not going to lie, let me say about 4.5 inches, but very usable. They do have a grip around the outside edge of the jog wheel that makes them very user-friendly. It's great to be able to bring in a track and then just adjust it. Okay, so starting at the center section, which is the mixer, let's take a look at the crossfader. The crossfader is not replaceable, which you wouldn't expect on a cheaper controller like this. However, it does feel good, and I think it's going to hold up. It just feels, built well. Same with both of these volume faders on the sides. Really like the feel of those. We'll see how time tells, but I think they're going to be very nice. I love these Q buttons here for the headphones. They just feel great. They kind of have a tactile click to them that I really like. And again, you have 3-band EQ. You've got your bass, your mid, your trebles. All the knobs feel great, although not professional quality. Please understand this is a cheaper controller, but for what they are, it feels great. Up here at the top, we do have filters, which I love the dedicated knobs. Now here's the thing, I'm getting used to Pioneer controllers typically, so I do have the filters normally down here under the bass knob. For me, it's a little odd to have it up here, but as I get used to it, it's actually kind of nice because it's out of the way as you're filtering in or making a volume adjustment, something like that. So in the center here you have a Q gain, which is basically your headphone volume, to make things simple. Don't know why they labeled it that, but that's fine. Then you have Q mix, okay? Q to program mix. So in your headphones, what do you hear? Do you hear the master out more, or do you want to hear more of what you have queued up in the other deck? And you have your master gain or master volume output. You do have a nice knob here in the center. This is a nice big knob. It feels good. Has a very tactile click to it. Detents, as you're scrolling through. And when you push it, I love the way the push button feels. Okay, so you click it to load in, and there are load buttons, deck 1, deck 2 here. Very nice browse knob. Okay, so overall, I like the mixing section. For me, I have fat fingers, so I don't know about you, but what I like about it is if my fingers fit easily in between knobs. I'm not going to hit this second knob, if I'm making a bass adjustment. I'm not going to accidentally bump the mids knob, or vice versa. There are bigger buttons up here for decks 3 and decks 4, which I think is pretty cool. You do have a large shift button, although I'm, again, maybe used to Pioneer stuff, but I don't like the placement of where the shift is, particularly on this side. Okay, they've put them both in the center. I wish that, of course, these decks were mirrored. I wish the tempo slider was over here on the right-hand side. Wish the shift knob was over here. That would make things a lot easier. I'm just used to using my finger, but maybe I'm being picky. Anyway, moving forward. I like these buttons. The sync buttons are right here, although don't really use them. You've got your cue, play, pause right here, although a little small, still very usable. They're almost like a machined aluminum feel on top, so they have a great texture to them. Okay, all these pads. Very cool. However, you do not have 8 hot cues. Okay, so what you have up here at the top are your loops. Okay, now these come factory set when you start up the software. If you hit this, it's a manual loop. Okay, if you like auto loop, you have to hit this pad mode, click auto loop. Okay, this might be something people are struggling with. You have to hit this auto loop. It's got to light up yellow. Let go. Then when you want to loop in, okay, so let's say we'll go to hot Q2. I know you can't see my screen, but let's go to hot Q2. If we want to loop in, what we do is if we want a half a beat loop in, cool. If we want a full beat, 2 beats, you get the idea, okay? So, or I'm sorry, that's actually 4. So There we go. There's 4. There's 8, depending on what you like as far as an auto loop. And then if you want to go into sampler, you've got to hit sampler here, and then you've got your samples up top, okay? Kind of cool that it's dedicated, but at the same time, I kind of wish you could do 4 hotkeys, you know, or 8 hotkeys total, you know, 4 up here at the top and 4 here on the bottom. With that being said, these 4 hotkeys here on the bottom are great. I do wish the buttons were a little bigger, although for a small compact controller, they've done a great job of spacing them, and they do have a great feel to them. Okay? Now, up here at the top, looks like a needle search slider, right? It's not. It's actually, you know, if I want to show you my screen real quick, my effects, when I use my finger and I scroll up and down, you can see how it's doing that. That's what that needle search slider is. It's not actually a needle search slider, it's an effect slider, okay? Okay, so you have that little touch slider there, capacitive touch, whatever you want to call it. Here are your effects 1, effects 2, effects 3 on off buttons. Very cool, very good placement. You do have a tap tempo right here, which is very neat, and a beat selector knob. I love this because sometimes, you know, depending on what I do for echo out, I like to start on a larger beat pattern and then reduce it down halfway through. You know, it's just kind of a trick I've figured out. So a lot of cool features right here on the top. Of course, you have pitch bend, up and down, and you have your wheel mode on and off if you don't want to have it, you know, jog or scratch. Of course, you can turn that off during playback. Of course, I'd take you down and just show you the front here. These are the headphone jacks. You do have a full-size 1/4 inch as well as 1/8 inch, which is kind of nice. And then over here on this side, you do have a mic gain as well as a 1/4 inch mic input, which is pretty awesome. And just kind of give you an up close of these decks one at a time here. Displays are actually very nice. Sarah will kind of go back in the sun. And you can see as that white ring kind of builds, let me fast forward. You can see that white ring right there shows you overall track position. There's key lock as well as your BPM, time remaining. You can adjust these parameters depending on what you like to see here. And you have deck 2. If you were to change to deck 4, it tells you, so that way you can see right on the platter what deck you're on. So overall, I really like this deck. It's very usable for very many things, very portable, and, you know, again, just spaced well. Again, I have fat fingers, so it's nice to be able to reach in between all this stuff, not bump other buttons. You know, even though the jog wheels are small, you know, if you want to look at the size of my hands by comparison, it's still very usable. I'm serious. This is a great controller. Alright, so I think if you're on the fence about this thing, it's great. I'd say just go for it. You know, it's a very affordable option. You get some really great features out of it. You know, you can pretty much do anything with this controller. Full integration to Serato Pro. By the way, let's just shout out to these keyboard covers here. I ordered one of these on Amazon. This is a Serato keyboard cover. If you don't have one of these for your MacBook, pick one up. It has all the keyboard shortcuts, you know, and they're like $6 on Amazon. Anyway, runs great with Serato. Love this deck. Alright guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Also, if you have a second, please subscribe to my channel, helps me out, and like this video. Thank you so much and have a great day.